Okay, guys, what's up? It's Make It Make Sense. This was totally unexpected. Bail was denied. It was a throwdown in the court. I have a good one. Literally, nobody expected it. As soon as the judge said it, everybody, literally, including Diddy, thought that this man was going home right now. Like, no lie, no. Everybody thought that Diddy was going to be going home. That Diddy was going to be going home like right now. Hold on, we have one of my YouTube buddies. Okay, tell the people. Did you think he was getting bail?
Hello, everybody. No, I did not.
What? You didn't think
I
he was
didn't
getting
think
bail?
he was. Well, you mean getting out today?
I thought he was going to.
No, because want to know why? I did at first.
I'm a little closer.
I did. Hey, hello, everybody. I did at first, but then whenever I saw, who was it? Douglas Wigdor, Cassie's lawyer, say, it was mandatory. I was like, well, if it's mandatory, it's mandatory. And that was basically what the judge said. Like, he has no discretion at all. And he really, as you know, relied on the fact that, like, Diddy admitted to violence in the closing statement.
Countless times. He said, "We own it. We own it. We own it."
He would have pled guilty. It's like, okay, well, yeah, I mean, I know people disagree on whether he should get bail or not, but you know what I'm most surprised about is that the hearing's in October. The hearing is in October for the sentencing.
So, fix what? Everybody knows James. No. It's okay. Go ahead.
Sorry, not live. But
Here we are live. Oh,
no, it's not.
oh, James.
There you go.
James, say hello to the people. Were you surprised they got bail?
Um,
They can't see you.
am I surprised? No, not really. Um,
James,
I am, however, surprised that he did not get to go home. I think that even though they cited case law, his decision to keep him behind bars, specifically the prosecution's such a hard push, might have been racially pushed. And I think that race has been a major part of this trial. And I think that the fact that people are acting like they just didn't know, or even worse, didn't care, says more about the prosecution and the blindness about race still in America with three Ks and no C than meets the eye.
James with his quick take. Also, me and James are going to be doing a podcast this weekend, so check. So,
Okay, let me tell them bye. Thanks for having
All
me
right.
on. Love you, Minnie K. Bye.
bye.
Well, don't. It doesn't really mean bye. It's just for me. Stay on for Mims.
So you're going. Okay,
Oh, press conference. Where's
I'm not doing the press conference.
No, Agnifilo and them about to talk.
I'm not doing that.
No,
No, I'm giving them exactly what's in the
right, you're
courtroom.
already in there.
Yeah, I
Why
was
are
in
you
the
here?
courtroom.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
not.
gonna say the same stuff. You're right.
Yeah, I'm not doing.
Love you, mean it.
All right, bye. Okay, guys. So it literally was a throwdown in the court. It was a throwdown in the court. Uh, we're gonna get to Diddy passing notes saying that he. Let's see. Okay. So Diddy walks into the court. You can see that everybody, their moods have shifted. The family is happy. They're hugging. The thought was this man is leaving right now. That was the thought. That's not what happened. That's not what happened at all. Um, the prosecution was somber as hell. They were all had their hands folded. They were texting. Nobody was happy. Diddy was literally going around hugging the defense attorneys that he liked. Like it was. So let's see. The judge comes in. He doesn't mince any words. Right away, he says the bail has been denied. He said the government correctly notes that detention is mandatory. Also, you heard from DJ Wigdor. Diddy, Cassie's attorney had sent a letter earlier saying that detention was mandatory as well. He said it requires the defendant shows no risk of flight and no harm to any member of the community. He said this was not an out of the ordinary decision, as Diddy has exhibited many counts of violence. So at this point, Diddy is now doing this to his attorneys. He's looking around to see exactly what the hell is going on because I'm telling you, this man thought he was getting out of jail today. The hotel was probably already booked today. The freak off, the Tucci was on order today, allegedly. I'm just saying. Diddy had um. He then says the court disagrees with the defense, and the court rejects the defense's bail proposition. Everybody is now like quietly whispering to one another, even though we're supposed to be quiet. Diddy's family was all smiles. Now they're looking around. Um, he said prior to the trial, we had already denied bail. Um, and he said the defense conceded that Diddy was. Oh, the defense conceded it happened. We own the violence. Like he was going through every instance that the defense had said in trial, in closing, that this man was violent. Uh, it happened. We own it. We own it. If he was charged with DV, we would have. If he was charged with DV, we would have already pled guilty. But that's not his charge. Then they cited the hotel incident. Um, and then he quoted Mark again. He said, "Imagine what it was like. That was horrible for Cassie and her parents." Um, then he noted Cassie's domestic violence posting. He said that the man was he has unpredictable bouts of anger and a propensity for violence. He said, contrary to the defense suggestions that he is trustworthy, he is violent. He kept reiterating that. He said, but don't, this court takes no position on the sentencing based on what he's saying right now. So this was interesting. So the defense offered their guidelines for sentencing, and they said anywhere between 21 to 27 months. Guys, he's already done 10 months. The government suggests that he get 51 to 63 months, and that is the standard. Although this is not a victory like so many people wanted, this is not the OJ verdict. This man will be doing at least some time. Let's see. He did suggest that if the defense wants, they can attempt to expedite the process. The prosecution had no issue with that. Now, this is where it gets interesting. This is why I love being in the overflow. You can clearly see Diddy's face and the concern on his face. Now he's looking all around. All right. Um, he then says that Comey already has her statute book out, and she says, "I do, Your Honor." And she starts quoting the different statutes. Although Comey was upset at the verdict, Comey was ready. So Mark does his normal thing. I call him like disarm and charm. He's stuttering. Mark is now stuttering through everything to try to, even though the judge's decision is final, Mark is going to try to talk his way into bail. He says if you review the Mann Act, this is nothing like that. Usually there's a pimp that has made millions of dollars. We do not see that in this case. Again, he's stuttering. What was that song? Stuttering. He says, I understand that there's not a glimmer of light coming from the court. So again, that's disarm and charm. You're trying to make the judge laugh. You're trying to see if there's anything that you can do to get Diddy out today. Because I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they promised him. Let me see. He says we are still requesting a below normal sentencing. And then he starts giving multiple examples. U.S. versus Lynn, which was a massage parlor that made millions off of prostitution. A man who was dating or sleeping with an underage person. The Brenner's Club, which was basically an escort club that a governor had used. I don't really know. That was extremely erroneous to me, but okay. A man sleeping with a minor. It was a lot of BS. But at this point, he's doing anything that he can to get Diddy bail. Um, Let me see. Again, I just put Marcus stuttering. Um, he starts kissing ass. He says, "I know we have a Mann Act conviction, but I also know that Your Honor worked really, really hard during this trial." What? Let me see. He says since 2018, there was only one instance of violence with Diddy, and that was only him defending himself against James. The prosecution that had smoke coming from their ears. He's alleging that Diddy chasing Jane throughout the house, breaking down three doors, beating her, kicking her, punching her three times in the shower was all self-defense. What he actually did was piss the prosecution off because Mark can disarm and charm. I don't think that he would have been able to disarm his way out of that because it was a mandatory no bail situation. But this is where we're at. He said he then goes on to say that Diddy made efforts to get into a battery program and then starts listing the program. It was such bullshit. I don't even know how else to say it. It was a last ditch effort to get this man out today. I almost feel like they should have used Brian Steele, maybe even Westmoreland for this, who would have been more direct and less bullshitty. He says that Diddy's a self-respecting businessman who just has some personality flaws, and that Diddy was a model prisoner. That he was a model prisoner, and that's even more reason that he should receive bail. And also reminded the court that in this particular prison, that people get into fights and it's dangerous, and that's not who that's not who Diddy is. Let me see. At this point, Diddy passes Mark a note. Mark continues on with his stuttering. Mark kind of glances down at the note but continues on. Then he goes on to say, "I don't want to pull at the heartstrings of the court, but sitting behind us is Diddy's daughters who have lost their mother." You're attempting to use Kim Porter as a reason that Diddy deserved bail, when the argument is that it's mandatory no bail. Kim Porter? Okay. You could see everybody in the courtroom looking around like, that's the best you got? Kim Porter, the woman that you allegedly also put your hands on. Okay. So Comey stands up and says the statute is clear and Your Honor's interpretation was clear as well. She said he is wealthy, violent. Hold on. Sorry. Sorry. It thought that I was doing hand effects. Um, and then she also said the suggestion that he was acting in self-defense as he slapped Jane three times until she passed out in the shower and beat her viciously is insulting. Um, then Mark stands up and says, "All I know is I'm glad." He said, "Listening to Miss Comey makes me appreciate the fact that we have juries." And I think that is when the judge was done because that was pretty nasty. Let me repeat. Mark stands up and says, "Listening to Miss Comey makes me appreciate the fact that we have juries. That was nasty. That was uncalled for. And the judge was then over. He was done with the conversation. So basically, Comey's not opposed to expediting the process. She was only opposed to bail. If we go based on her sentencing structure, we're talking years in prison. Let me say that one more time. If you're just coming in, what the government wants is 51 to 63 months in prison. Meanwhile, the defense is asking anywhere from 21 to 27. Sounds like he's going to get some time, you guys. I do not want to go to this press conference. I'm not even going to lie to you. I don't want to go to the press conference. Um, I just don't want to. I don't even think I am. I'm going to go. I'm going to see you guys later. This was a roller coaster. Um, have a good one. Like and subscribe.